We're going to start in our workshop C1, consideration, discussion, and possible action related to the 2013 bond update. Dr. Ely.
Thank you, Dr. Yokin. As our practice, we come about every 3 or 4 months to just give the board and community an update as to our progress on our various building projects. John Hall, Executive Director for Facilities, is here to give us an update about where we are with the 2013 bond program. Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Dr. Ely, Dr. Yokin, members of the board. You know, it's School Board Appreciation Night tonight, so I just wanted to start my presentation tonight by saying how much I appreciate your support for all of the many proposals that we bring forth before this group for all of these bond packages. And I want to say it's a real privilege to be working for a group of people who process business the right way. And I just wanted to let you know that your trust is never taken for granted. And once again, thank you for your support that you give us every day. So, with that said, let me jump right on into the update here. As I do, I like to start off with giving a little general information, kind of as a reminder. The 2013 bond update is what I'm giving the presentation on tonight. It was passed in November of 2013 for a total of $83.5 million. And it included recommendations made by the Long Range Educational Planning Committee. It specifically listed these construction projects: the school safety upgrades, Center for Alternative Learning, elementary number 9 that became Spring Creek Elementary School, A&M Consolidated High School addition renovations, mostly for our athletics area, purchasing warehouse, and repurpose current warehouse and purchasing building, which we haven't started yet, as well as $12 million worth of deferred maintenance. So if my math is right, that adds up to about $68.9 million worth of just construction projects. Now, in addition to that, we also had a couple of other items included, which are technology, buses and vehicles, and land acquisition to round out to the $83.5 million total. So we finished 3 major construction projects already. One of them is Spring Creek Elementary School. We also finished up school safety upgrades for the last 5 remaining security vestibules that we wanted to pick up across the district. So that completes all of them, as well as A&M Consolidated High School athletics addition and renovation. And in addition to that, we've completed a whole slew of deferred maintenance projects across the district. These are some of the bigger ones. You kind of scroll through the list and you can kind of remember the work going on across the district there. We've done things over at Rock Prairie and over at South Knoll and a couple others around. And even above and beyond that, we've done a few other things for some air conditioning equipment replacement. So I just want to drop in a couple of photos. Here's one that I always liked for Spring Creek Elementary, just because the gym looks so clean and good right before we opened school there. Y'all have seen plenty of views on the outside with the grass and all that kind of stuff, but I just kind of wanted to show this one. Here's a slide for the school safety upgrades. Going around from the top left corner, that's Southwood Valley. Over to the right, you've got Cypress Grove. And you've got Pebble Creek Elementary. And coming around to the bottom, you got A&M Consolidated Middle School and College Station Middle School. So I think all 5 of those have been working very well for us. We also just recently finished up a project over at A&M Consolidated High School. The picture we've got there of the new lobby area, if you'll recall, that used to just be the concrete sidewalk out there outside the gym. So now we've got a nice, shiny new lobby to transition people from the parking lot into games. You can see kind of back to the right, there's our new concession stand. And then the photo at the bottom is our new dance area that's being shared by the Bengal Bills and the cheerleading squad there, and that's been pretty well received too. So you know, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't throw at least one old ugly roofing picture in on the deferred maintenance. You know, may not be the prettiest picture, but it sure makes me sleep better at night when it starts raining hard. I know the teachers under those classrooms appreciate that too. So this particular one was over at South Knoll, over at the kindergarten wing that we did a little while back. So we do have 2 construction projects that are ongoing right now, the last 2 with Joris. We have the purchasing building and the Center for Alternative Learning projects. So the purchasing warehouse, as you will probably remember, is located out next to the current transportation center. at Rock Prairie Road and William D. Fitch. It will be complete in March of 2016, and will house record storage, child nutrition, food storage, book storage, all sorts of storage out there, mostly for distribution of all sorts of deliveries made to the district. That'll be Mark Pantel's new office and world out there. So I dropped in a couple of photos of that building. This is looking from the west. If you were over by, you can see the flagpole, which is over by the transportation center. It's kind of west of the building. That big black block on the end of it, that's the office suite. That's where Mark's office suite's going to be. And of course, it's connected to the larger block of green in the back, which is the major warehouse component there. So if you were to swing around from the left of this over towards the north side of the building, you'd have a view of this. This is the new driveway that kind of ties into the existing driveway that pulls into the transportation center. You can see they're getting ready for a pour for kind of the entry sidewalk there to the front of that office suite. So the other project still under construction is the Center for Alternative Learning, which includes College View High School as well as the Venture and Leap programs. We'll be completing the current phase of this construction work in May of 2016, at which time, just after that, we'll be moving the current Timber Academy, Venture and Leap into the new building. We figured we'd finish up the school year, not try to move them in that last little bit. And then the final phase of the demolition and parking lot construction would happen during that early part of the summer, which is where the existing Timber Academy and Venture and Leap buildings are sitting right now. We'd start all that demolition. So dropped in a couple of photos of that project. This is the view looking at it from George Bush Drive out there. And this is kind of matched up with the one we've shown you in the past, the artist's rendering from VOK. That's going to be, that big open area right in the front is going to be a lot of storefront, a lot of glazing through there. You can kind of see all the way into the building there up to the second floor. That big black block to the right, there's a couple of classrooms kind of jutting out there. And to the left is kind of that art wing. You kind of swing over to the other end of the building. This is kind of on the Venture Leap end of the building. You can see some of the classrooms, and they're painting the CMU block along that corridor. It's a little more ruggedly constructed, I'll say. It's got some glazing on that end of the building as well to let some natural light in. And then going back kind of inside the building on that College View High School side up on the second floor, kind of looking back outside of the building, you can see just here's a little shot of kind of the back side of that big art block of the building where they're coming. You can see they're making some good progress on our masonry over there. If you were to swing that view over to the left just a little bit, you'd see back over to the golf course across the street there. So the next construction projects that we have coming up after these are completed are repurposing the current warehouse and purchasing building. That's basically where Mark Pantel is housed right now. We're going to be converting that into a new technology building, office space for David Wilkerson and his bunch. And in the back of this facility we're in right here, all the warehouse space, we'll be converting that to some office space as well. And we're hoping to bring that GMP to you for that work in March. In addition to that, we still have lots of deferred maintenance to do planned for the summer. Some of these projects we'll be bringing you these later on in the spring, but we've got Pebble Creek Elementary. We're going to be doing some refreshing the space over there, doing some paint and tile work and that kind of stuff. Over at South Knoll Elementary, we're going to do some window replacement over there. And of course, the bullet item that's on every one of these is miscellaneous air conditioning equipment replacement and roofing repairs across the district. And in fact, one of the roofing repairs across the district is for College Station Middle School that will be presenting, it's on the consent agenda later on this evening. So that's kind of a quick blast through on it there. Are there any questions you'd like to ask of me at this time?
So thank you for that. The one thing I would ask that you do perhaps just for documentation purposes is if for the deferred projects, if you would go back and list that we're going to be addressing the sidewalk problem at Pebble Creek Elementary where there's been the movement so that it's clear that we do have the intention of fixing that for our Head Start program. I think that would be beneficial to the district if you would do that, just to add that on there.
I'd be glad to do that. And and we are planning on.
Well, I had no doubt that you were, but I think it would be behoove us to have that documentation out there.
Will do.
Thank you. Anything else?
I have a couple of questions. There have been some slippages on time with a couple of the projects. Are you concerned that we're seeing problems anywhere else? I guess to ask it in a different way, are you confident that we're getting the quality of construction that we're used to?
I'm absolutely confident that we're getting the proper quality of the construction, and we're staying within budget on every project. Really, the only one of those three that's slipping has been time, and we've had lots of different reasons for that.
Right.
Partially has been some really bad weather on the beginning of these. It's very slow coming out of the ground with some of these projects due to a lot of mud and rain that we received early. And there have been some other issues too, but the quality and the budget are rock solid. The only thing that's been slipping has been time on some of these.
And then one follow-up on the A&M Consolidated, the basketball area. I had a question posed to me about lighting outside of that, and some lights in the parking lot were out. That was part of the issue, but it looked like there were 3 concrete, looked like light pole bases, footings with wires coming out. Are we getting more lighting there?
We are getting more lighting there.
Okay.
The poles are still coming in to be placed on those 3 spots.
That's what I thought, but I want to confirm now. I'll give an accurate answer. Thank
That's
you.
exactly correct. So.
Anybody else? Thank you very much for your summary, and thank you for keeping us on task. With the time part, we can't control the weather, but we can control the budget and the quality of the work, and we know you do a great job doing that, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move to D1, executive session. The board will meet in executive session to discuss the superintendent mid-year review. The executive session deliberations will be held pursuant to the personnel matters closed meeting exception of the Texas Meetings Act set forth in section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. Once we have finished that, we will come back into open session and adjourn. You might check and realize that we do have our next, after the workshop, the next meeting will start at 6:40, where we'll get an opportunity to hear from Ms. Perry. So, thank you. We're back in open session for the workshop. And we are going to adjourn, and the next part of our program tonight will start in about 30 seconds.